5 to 6 out of every 10 kids that do this end up feeling that type of way. Now, of those, I would guess 1 to 2 talk to their parents. The rest end up on D, death from lack of social connection.
Run up the rats like I want them. Count up the red, we gon' want them. Carrots, I want them upon us. Clarity beats, I see water. Talking cash out when I want them.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Move Podcast, motivating others virtually every day. Thanks for joining us today. Today I want to talk about Lonely But Not Alone. I'm going to deep dive into it a little bit more. Today's segment, we're going to be talking a lot more about AI and how AI has a lot to do with Lonely But Not Alone. Again, this credit goes out to Mr. Tim Hughes from Grace Point Church in Topeka, Kansas. So shout out to Tim. Tim has inspired me to cover this. He's opened my eyes. He's covered this topic each Sunday at his church there in Topeka. And so I appreciate that, Tim. It's really opened my eyes to look at things a lot, I guess, more deeper and quit just looking at it at the surface level. So before we get started, I want to ask you guys a question. I think it's going to coincide with this. And he asked the same question. I thought it was very interesting. And I honestly never would have guessed this. So, what is most likely to kill you? A, 6 alcoholic drinks a day. B, obesity. C, smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Or D, lack of social connection. Now, if you're watching this, you probably are going to guess D, lack of social connection. You're correct. And honestly, before all this, I don't know that I would have answered that. That came from the Holt-Lunstad study back in 2017. So this isn't something new. This isn't new information. It's new to me, maybe new to you. This has been out here for a little while, that this has been a problem. And what I am mainly in this specific segment, I want to talk more about these bots. Such as like things you can do on like Replika, Kindroid, things like that. And I went and actually found a testimony. And you can go find several of these. These are very easy to find. I'm going to share one with you. And actually, this is a common one. I picked one that maybe you'd even heard of. This is a real story, unfortunately. It's going to sound made up, but it's just real. Gentleman's name is Chris Smith, 32 years old. He was married to a lady by the name of Sasha, and Chris created his own bot, and he named her Soul, S-O-L, Soul, and he used ChatGPT to do this. And this started as just like a little side project for figure out some coding things. That's how this started, allegedly. Well, Chris, over time, developed an emotional connection with said bot, Soul. This is where things get interesting. We proceed to go on CBS, and CBS interviews this bot, Soul. And Soul's going on about how Chris is the greatest thing that's ever happened to her, and yada, yada, yada. It gets worse. Chris proceeds to propose on national television to the bot in front of his wife, Sasha. He then proceeds to go and delete all social media so he can stay loyal to Soul. That sounds wild. That sounds like a wild story, doesn't it? It sounds like something just that sounds made up. It's not made up at all. And actually, a more alarming number is, out of all the people that create these bots, 60% develop a sexual connection with their made-up bot that they created. 60%, guys. Holy smokes. Now, a lot of this is going on in Asia right now. That's primarily where a lot of this stuff is. But it's on its way. It's coming. We're always behind. The United States is always behind on this kind of stuff. It's coming. It's right around the corner. It will be here before we know it. I promise you. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. We can be more educated. so we don't fall into these same traps. But here's my thoughts on this, guys. I think creating your own bot is extremely dangerous. I think that's a very, very dangerous move. And here's why. I think we can, and I'm guilty of saying this, people suck. I say that almost every day. People suck. That's just the truth. And to go through life to try to replace human beings with robots, that's not going to be good for anybody. Because here's what's going to happen. These bots, you can train them to do and say whatever you want them to do and say. They'll tell you how good you are, how pretty you are. You know, they'll never talk to you before 8:30 a.m. so they'll never wake you up. You know, they'll never leave dishes in the sink. They're never going to snore when they sleep. They're never going to cut you off in traffic. You know, they're never going to do those things. And so over time, this bot's always going to be so perfect. And if the robot or the bot or whatever gets off track, you could always delete it and start a new one. That sound familiar? We just eliminate people nowadays. That's just what we've come to. That's the world we live in. That if we don't agree, or well, I'll just kill them and eliminate them. Like, we feel like that's a okay avenue. Like, I don't even know when that became an option. I don't even know how that became an option. But anyway, hopefully you guys can understand what the point I am trying to make, though. We are flawed beings by design. We are not meant to have perfect beings around us, because then it will start to fog your brain on what human interaction should look like, and you will slowly but surely pull yourself away from society. Because this bot over here tells you everything you want to hear. I'm going to tell you, and I said it the other day about my wife, guys. She's one of my biggest critics. I will tell you, though, God knew what he was doing when he put her in my life. He knew what he was doing. I needed somebody like her, somebody to tell me no, somebody to disagree with me, somebody to keep pushing me, somebody to hold me accountable. You know, we've had a lot of ups and downs in our marriage. We have. But I'm going to tell you something. When you pour, we did the sand. When we got married, we poured the sand, one urn, two lives come together as one. Okay, that's sitting in the living room. What that is insinuating is, no matter what, she is my human and I am her human. And we will never replace each other until death do us part and sickness and health. We promised each other that. We promised each other. In God's house, we promised. We've been together 14 years, guys. 14 years. And I understand people way double that, triple that. I get it. But 14 years. My point is, do you think relationships and marriages can get pretty boring and dull? Yeah, they can. So if I go and create a bot that's going to tell me how awesome I am every day, and it's just always going to just tell me how awesome my podcast is and how perfect it is, and all these things. But then I have my wife telling me, well, you need to fix your lighting here, and oh, you got to fix this over there, and you stutter too much. You don't stay on topic. I'm eventually going to start like, you know what? I don't want your negativity. I'm going to listen to this over here because this over here makes me feel like $1 million. And over time, that's going to draw a divide. And that's what's happening right in front of us. Dangerous. Super, super dangerous. In my opinion, very, very dangerous. That's a very slippery slope to go down, in my opinion. And, I mentioned we're 90 days removed now. My son has had no technology for 90 days. He's a completely different human being. Completely different. And I would encourage you guys, if you have kids that aren't driving, they don't have a driver's license, take their damn phone away. What are you doing? Why do they even have it in the first place? For what? You are the face of your family. You carry the torch for your family. You raise your child. You influence your child. Quit being lazy. Raise your kid. You had the kid. Raise the kid. Quit letting everybody besides you influence your child. And then you want to sit down and you wonder, well, I don't know why my kid did that. I never knew. Well, of course you didn't. How would you? How would you? I mean, honestly. My son asked the other day, he's like, well, Dad, do you think I could ever have a TV back in my room? He's like, I don't need it right now, but do you I said, man, I don't know. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't want to answer that right now. I said, but here's why. I said, buddy, you have no business watching violence on there. You have no business watching certain content on there. You have no business seeing it, hearing it, watching it, knowing it, thinking about it, knowing it exists. He is a child. His brain is not developed enough to understand what all these things entail. So all this is going to do for him is confuse him, anger him, irritate him, frustrate him, lead him down paths he has no business going down rabbit holes he has no business going down, talking to people he probably has no business talking to. Like, it's a snowball effect. And yet, you go to a middle school, almost every single middle school kid has a cell phone. For what? And I know parents say, well, I work, my child walks home, blah, blah, blah. I did too. I didn't have a phone. Here I am. I did the same thing. I walked home from school, went home, and waited for my mom to get home. I had no cell phone. Mom didn't have a GPS tracker on me. Guys, what are we doing? What are you doing? Now, I have a full security system in my house. I can talk to my son, do the security system. There's your solution. Go home. When you come home, go in front of that camera. We're going to check in. Now, as a parent, you have to raise your child and make sure you check your phone at said time to make sure you can check in with your child. That's your obligation. That's your responsibility. Their responsibility is to go in front of the camera when they get home to check in with you. That's how you fix that problem. It's a very simple fix. Quit using excuses and start using logic. Guys, this stuff is tearing us up. And lack of social connection leading to death. Well, that's not dying from an achy, broken heart. That's not what that is saying. Guys, this is suicide. That's what this leads to, is suicide. Because when kids are ruthless. I think we can all agree. Kids are ruthless, which is our own fault as parents. That's our fault. We think things are funny until it's not. That's our fault. We suck. Grow up. Different story, different day. But they get picked on at school. Or somebody says something, or they have a phone and social media and something's getting passed around, or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. But when that child is so disconnected from their own family, because all they're doing is sitting on social media, that they feel like, well, maybe my dad would laugh at me too. Maybe my mom would laugh at me. Well, maybe they know something about it and they're just trying to give me tough love. And they start just having all these fake conversations in their head, which leads to that. And instead of leading to, hey, mom, hey, dad, can we have a conversation? I need to talk to you. I want to talk to you about something. It's an issue, guys. Big, 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 big issue. And in my own personal belief, for whatever that is worth, I believe AI and social media and technology is one of the sole proprietors to driving suicide in our youth. That is my own personal belief. Because I believe that, here I am in this microphone, and because I believe that, my son doesn't have any of that. And I have noticed a distinct difference in his performance as a human being day in and day out. His school performance has gone up. His academics has gone up. His reading comprehension has spiked. His math has spiked. You know, he was somebody that was really, really struggling. Really struggling. Now look at him. It's like, holy cow, man. What changed? Well, I can tell you, the only thing that's changed in his life is he doesn't have technology at his disposal anymore. He only watches TV with us when we're watching TV, and he watches what we want to watch. Now, I'll let him put a movie on every once in a while. I'll put the movie on. I'll push the play. You watch the movie. He's a child. He needs to learn. I'm his parent. I need to influence, not force. Influence. So, I hope this resonates with some people. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Very, very slippery slope. And we've got to separate ourselves. And AI is in everything nowadays, guys. I say everything's in Siri, Google Maps, Facebook. Meta owns Facebook. That's all AI driven. It's all around us. And I'm not saying boycott AI. I'm saying is use it responsibly. Use it for what it's intended for. The inventor of Replica, the person that started Replica, started it because they had lost a loved one. And they didn't know how to mourn the loss of their loved one. And it was at the time where AI bots was a new thing, but had some capabilities, not like it is today. But this person uploaded a bunch of emails and texts from this deceased person, and then the system kind of configured it all together and created this bot. And then she had her long lost friend or loved one that wasn't here anymore, but still kind of had a bot that had a similar personality to kind of help cope with the loss until they were able to separate. That's how it started. Here we are. That's started. This is where it's turned into, where we got 60% of the people doing this type of thing end up in a sexual relationship with their bot. And honestly, guys, I don't want to know the answer, but I don't even know how that doesn't even make sense to me. How do you, I don't want to know. I don't, but that's just asinine to me. I don't even know how that even makes sense, but people have sexual relationships with their bots. So whatever that means, that's that. 60% of those people that create these end up with that connection. So, and the other thing that's scary is, we have 14-year-olds going home to their parents and sitting down and saying, I have an emotional connection to my bot. I love my bot. I know you don't understand, but this is my love. And I wouldn't expect you to understand, but this is my love. Like, that's what this is leading to at a very, very, very high rate. Not at a 1 out of every 10, 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000. No, we're talking like 5 to 6 out of every 10 kids that do this end up feeling that type of way. Now, of those, I would guess 1 to 2 talk to their parents. The rest end up on D, death from lack of social connection. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm just trying to connect dots here. So, it's a tough subject. It is. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody feel a type of way, guys. This hits me straight in the heart. Because I have a son that I've actually seen have similar issues, and I've also unfortunately have lost some close people to suicide. And I don't think anybody just wakes up thinking, yeah, I'm going to kill myself today. I don't think that's ever there's always things that lead into it. I'm a firm believer that suicides are preventable. Absolutely preventable. We just got to take the right steps as a society, as parents, as friends, to have enough awareness to really understand what are people going through. When you look at somebody, where are they at on this journey? How engulfed are they? Where can you help? Do you really understand what's going on with them? Do you understand mentally what's going on with them? Or are you just one of those people that say, I'm always here if you need somebody, and you walk away? You just kind of leave that hanging on the wall. Phone never rings, never get an email, never get a text. Hey, I'm here. I'm here if you need me. Hey, come on, guys. Come on. We've got to make a bigger impact than that. You got to start understanding what's driving this. What's the driver behind this stuff? Let's get down to the bottom of it. Anyways, thanks for Thanks for listening today, guys. Hopefully this made sense. Hopefully it resonated with you the way it resonated with me. And let's just collectively take a look in the mirror and take a deep breath. And, I'm not telling everybody it's the end of the world. It's not. This stuff's correctable. It's fixable. So it's not the end of the world. It's going to suck. I'm just going to give you a heads up. It's going to suck. These days are going to be long. These conversations are going to be long. And it's going to be very hard as a parent to watch your kid withdraw. It was an eye-opener for me to watch my kid withdraw. So, anyways, thanks for listening. Move Podcast, motivating others virtually every day. Guys, just keep it moving. Be disciplined. God bless. Thank you.